Hi, it's Lee Solden. This is a second video in a series to teach a particular audiobook on YouTube. I'll put that link on the bottom of this video. The first one was my video 60F-1. This one will be 60F-1B. Okay, and so I'll put a channel link so you can go find the other video, and I'll also put the link directly to that first one also. Okay, this starts at 46 seconds on the video. My target is to get to 2 minutes and 36 seconds. I might not make it, but that's my target. Okay, here we go. One more time, I'm going to tell you that listen to this video is part of learning Portuguese. Okay, this is where you can choose to just simply loop this and pay attention to it sometimes ignore it. You can use it to slowly do associations between the Portuguese words and the English words, okay? Or you can simply choose to make notes based on this video, and then use those notes for your read-throughs as per my instructions, which I post at the bottom of each video of my system. Okay, so this is to assist you in doing read-throughs. You have to follow up with actually listening and reading the audiobook that I'm teaching, and you have to sometimes listen to it with your eyes closed, okay, as per my program. So here we go, about 46 seconds. Okay, that I would be able always to choose between being a creator or the creature. The creature being created, right? Okay. That goes like this. Que eu poderia sempre escolher entry, I should say entry, ser criador ou criatura. Okay. Que is that, eu is I, poderia, would be able, sempre, always, escolher, to choose, entre, between, ser, to be, or being, doesn't matter which way you go here. Criador is a creator, o is ou, or criatura, or the creature. That key, no precisaria. Okay, precisar means to need. I use this little phrase, need to be precise. So when you see the word looks like kind of like precise, remember that little key phrase, need to be precise. And you think, precise. So, okay, the phrase was need to. Oh yeah, precisar means to need. Okay, little memory trick. Okay, I do not need ficar. Ficar means fix, stay, be, remain, anything to do with being where you are, basically, including just the word be. It's one of the most common words they use for the word be. Okay, that I do not need to be stuck preparing. Okay, it says me, preparando, preparing, for, para, to be, ser, the best employee, o melhor empregado. Okay, we got O for the, melhor, trying to do something right here. Try it again. Melhor. Okay. Now that LH is the same thing as a double L over in Spanish. It's just yeah. Okay, mayor. Okay. Now it can mean better or best. It's just like over in Spanish. It can depend on the situation. You just got to look at it. Is there a comparative involved? If so, it's better. But if not, it's best, right? So to be the best employee, I don't have to. I don't have to be stuck preparing myself to be the best employee. Empregado. Empregado. But mas that key, I would be able, poderia, to crear meus negocios, my negotiations. Well, what is negotiations? Business. So you create your own business, right? Instead of preparing to be an employee, why not make your own business, right? Okay. Okay, enterprising, empreender, okay. In, okay, okay. So you can create your own business and you enterprising, right? That's what enterprising means. It means you go into business, right? Um, and that E key, mesmo means same. Okay, mesmo key, same that. Well, the same that we say even if. So mesmo key, translate that phrase as even if. So and that even if resolvesse, it might end up. Well, this is the word resolve in English, right? Well, something can resolve in a certain manner. It can end up in a certain manner, right? Now, an R at the beginning word is an H. This is resolvesse. Now, the SE ending, that's unique to the ER verb. It'd be ASSE, A-S-S-E, for AR verbs, and EC, I-S-S-E, for IR verbs. Okay, this is one of the most common set of endings you're going to come across because it is a subjunctive form, but it's not just a subjunctive form. It's the form you find as the fallback to any thing that's not in the main clause. So in other words, if it's in a dependent clause, it's going to be using this form usually, even if it's not subjunctive per se. Subjunctive means there's some doubt in the situation. This is called the subjunctive / conjunctive form. So it could be, anyway, it could be in either, you'll find it almost always in the second phrase within a sentence or a later phrase from the first one, okay? So I'm not going to put that up on the screen, but I guess I'll go over this ending since you'll see it constantly. It's always esse, always, or ec, or asi, depending on the verb ending, right? For 4 different things: I, você, which is you singular, he and she. It's always going to be just esse, ec, or asi. Okay. Now, when you go to we, you just add mos to that. And if you, for the they form, which is also the vocês form, just add them. That's all there's to it. It's a very simply formed tense. Scares people because there's 4 letters in the ending, but other than that, it doesn't take much to learn. You're going to get used to MOS being associated with every we form of every type of verb. And this is true over in Spanish too, right? And in Spanish, you're used to an N at the end of, you take whatever the he, she form is, add an N to it, and then you got the they form, right? Well, here, about the same thing, but you add an M instead of an N, okay? So, okay, keep going here. So even if it ends up Hazelvesi, this is that I end up, Hazelvesi, I can't know if it says you end up or I end up, right? you have to read it in context, right? So even if I end up being an employee, that I should, deveria, empreender, enterprise, inside, dentro of the enterprise, empresa, the business, right? Of the business, da. We've covered that before. That's DEG plus a, the feminine form of the. So in the company, empresa, in which a key could be which, that, etc. I might be. There's that, this estivesi. Okay, there's that, again, the subjunctive / conjunctive form you'll see constantly. That's from a star, to be. Good time to mention that. There's two B's. Just like in Spanish, they got two words for to be. Same reasons. Ser is what I guess you might call your main to be verb, ser, ser. That is for permanent conditions. Okay. What do you use the other one for? Well, things that are not permanent. Okay. Like, and also location. You say something somewhere. Now, the mountains may be always over next to California. They'll always be there. You still have to use a star because you're talking about location, right? So otherwise, if it's permanent, use ser, then use a star if it's not permanent, or if you're talking about location, and it's the same two verbs and the same rules for both Spanish and Portuguese. Okay, so estivesse, I might be, okay? Now, you can read the same exact sentence as if it resolves that you are an employee, that you would enterprise inside the business in which you are. Because why? Because this SE form is for both you and I, or it's also for he and she. So you'd say that one, you could say if it ends up that one is an employee, one should enterprise inside the business in which one is. Still would work. All those would work because it's the same form. But as you can see, the sentence has the same meaning regardless of which pronoun you use, right? It's all the same sentiment, right? Okay. And by the way, not just the ST form, this EA form on deveria also covers all four of I and you singular and he and she. Okay, a lot of their forms are like that. Matter of fact, there's only like I think two exceptions. No, there's more than three exceptions. And a lot of forms, their eyes and their use are all the same, right? The present tense is different. The main preterite, like I did something, that's the past tense. That'll be different, and also the future tense will vary between I and you. Okay, but then the rest of them, they'll be tied together. Moving along here. Okay, key relacionamentos, that relationships, personal relationships, pessoais, um, pessoais, personal. So they put in this language, they tend to put the adjectives after the noun. So personal relationships In English, we say personal relationships. They say relationships personal, right? Que relacionamentos pessoais, personal relationships, comma, the importance, a importância of se levar, that means it's reflexive verb, means raise, okay? In count, em conta. Okay, what does that mean? Raise in count. That means taking into account, okay? So the taking into account things, coisas, things, como, as, or like the emotions of people, as emoções das pessoas. That emoções, it's, you go, again, it's being replacing an TIN in this case, TION in English, emotion. It's emoção. This is plural, so it's emoções. Now, you'll notice this. They changed the spelling from AO, the A with a little flag at the top of it, kind of, to OE. Doesn't change the pronunciation. They change the spelling when they add the S, but it goes from on to ons. Okay, emoções. Okay. Of people, it says of the people, das pessoas. Okay, of the das. The D is for G, D-E, and the as is the plural feminine the. Put them together, you got das. Okay. Then we have would be, seriam. There's more, these are they, right? People, right? So they, excuse me, talking about the they is referring to emotions. They, mais importantes, more important, excuse me, they would be, forgot to say the verb, seriam, they would be. Okay, so they would be more important than do que, that's that phrase, do que means than. Periodical tables, tabelas periódicas, periódicas. Okay, you got that, you got to put that O loud because they put the accent mark on it, okay? Without that accent mark, then we'd have to, that I would be heavy, it would be because it's the second to last syllable, right? Second to last syllables, I want you to, it's not always like that, but I want you to think of that, remember, like for both languages, Spanish, Portuguese, it's like 7 out of 10 times the emphasis will go on the second to the last syllable of a word. Words end with vowels, follow that rule, end with generally with an N or an S, or I think an M in this language is gonna follow that rule. So otherwise it's gonna, well, the otherwise doesn't happen that often. Most words in both languages end with a vowel or an M, N, or S, depending on the language. We'll get that in exact detail here, but just be aware that I'll give you one, an R. If it ends with an R, you're definitely going to, I heard here, emprender, ends with an R, and the stress goes on the last syllable, okay? Let's keep going here. Okay, the emotions of people can be more important than periodical tables. We did that, okay. And I forgot to turn off the sound here. One second.
Escolher entre ser criador ou criatura. E não precisa ir.
And I forgot to turn off the sound to my videos. I'll take time to do that right now. Okay, that behavior, attitude, and commitment, integrity would be well more important than integrals and derivatives. Well, integral is a mathematical term, so is a derivative. Okay, it's from something called the study of calculus. Okay, key comportamento. Okay, comportamento is your behavior. We have that word in English, comportment, right? That behavior, attitude, and this attitude, the D is G, right? Comprometimento, that is commitment. How you know that? Well, look at the word, right? You got PROM right in the middle of it, prom, from promise, right? Well, aren't you making a commitment to your company? You're making a kind of a promise that you're going to be there for them. You're going to try to, work for your company, right? Not for the competitor. You're not, and you're just not there just a job hop, right? Just using them for a stepping stone. You're there to help them out. You're there to be committed to them, right? You're making that promise. You're putting your time toward them, right? So that behavior, attitude, commitment, integrity, or honesty, right? Integridade would be seriam, seriam. That was my Spanish, and you take an IA and make an umlaut out of it, and that would still be seriam. Never mind. Okay, I just made a bad mistake. No excuses. Seriam. Okay. Bem, well, mais, more, importantes, important, than, do que, integrais e derivadas. Okay, and keep going here. And a little bit of a technical problem here. Okay. 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 That if C, now this SE could be a reflexive pronoun, SE, or it could be if. Now over in Spanish, SI is if. Here it's spelled SE, but everybody pronounces it as C. So same word, different spelling, right? That if for to be a good doctor, que se para ser bom médico, I should, eu deveria study, estudar medicina. For to be well successful, para ser bem sucedido financially, financeiramente, I should learn, eu deveria aprender muito, over money, sobre dinheiro. Looking for education, financial, buscar, to look for, same in both languages, Spanish and Portuguese. Education, there's that TION going to a são. Educação, education. Financial, financiera, financiera. Okay. That EI, I always say is A. Should I be saying financiera? Nah, I think that is pronounced. I don't think it's an umlaut unless they're pronouncing it really fast. I think it's just a ei. You can say a financiera. Okay. Let's listen to that one more. I could be making a mistake there. Constantly, constantemente. Okay. Okay. Understanding, entender that more important than que mais importante do que the quantity of money, a quantidade de dinheiro that I would have, que eu poderia ter. Ter means to have. Again, in Spanish, it's tener. They drop the N, go to ter here. In Portuguese. Would be the way, my way. Seria a minha forma. That there's the, which we would not use in English. My way or form, my form of thinking. De pensar. Pensar is both Spanish and Portuguese, to think. And acting, agir. That's always a G in this language. It does not get pronounced as H like Spanish does. It's always going to be a G. It could be a G, but it's not going to be an H in this language. It's always a G. Agir em relação. Excuse me, I messed up there. Relação. The leading R has to be an H, right? Relação, relation to the money. Ao dinheiro. Well, okay, we get this ao. Ao. That's a, the, plus o, or u. No, it's not. Okay. A can be the feminine, but it can also be the word to, as it is in Spanish, right? So we got au. That's you put those two together, that is to the. O is the singular masculine. Okay. In other words, they're telling you that more important than the quantity of money that you have to spend is understand that you have to spend within your means, right? You got to think in terms of relationship to the money, right? And I'll say the whole thing again, the whole paragraph in English, that if for to be a good doctor, I need to study medicine. Okay, for to be well successful financially, I should learn much over money. Looking for education, financial education constantly, understanding that more important than the quantity of money that I could have would be the way I think and act in relationship to the money. Okay. That each of us, que cada is each, of us, de nós, okay, each one of us, is a, you put an accent mark over the accent mark over the e, you got a, okay, goes from well, an e by itself would just be e, but this is a, like in pat, okay. That each one of us is a being, like a human being, right? Ser, I mean, that's to be, but you can always take ser and make it an ing form, including in this case, the noun being. So each one of us is a being, much more powerful, muito mais poderoso, than we think, do que pensa, okay? So they have the same verb for to think, but when you conjugate it, they don't have the IE like Spanish is pensa, okay? So each one of us is more powerful than one thinks, or he thinks, either way, pensa. They don't actually put a pronoun in there. So the a ending is for he and she for the regular present tense. I don't know if I've ever actually said those. I'll say them right now. O for I. Usually you're going to see it often pronounced oo. Okay, and then for all of he, she, and você, which is singular you, it's going to be a for the ending, like here, pensa. And then you're going to from the pensa, it's going to go to add a mos, pensamos. So we're going to say pensamos. The os endings go us. Okay. And then for they, just add an M, so it'd be pensam. Okay, nasal M. Unless an N or an M starts a word, it's pretty much nasal, okay? Like here, muito. Well, that M is not nasal because it started, right? Okay, so each one of us is a being much more powerful than he thinks. That each child, excuse me, that this child, Kayla, that this child, criança, is a child. Think of a creation, right? Each child is created, right? So think of a criança, it's a creation. Okay, a child. That I was, because this child that I was, or that child that I was, eu era means was, as a student, como aluno, okay, think of the alumnus. You were a student at college, you're an alumnus now. And give me a second. Okay, and I have to see where my video is because I can only go a half hour unless it takes too long to process otherwise. My video is at 32:46. It's not too long, so hey, we'll continue next time. If you like this kind of thing, like, share, talk to your friends about this, comment please, subscribe to the channel. Have a great day.